Welcome to Introduction to Yarning. In this presentation, we will explore what a yarning circle is, how to set up a yarning circle, opening a yarning circle, the role of a Yarning Circle Facilitator, and closing a yarning circle. If you have any questions, please email us or visit the website. Now let's begin.
The concept of yarning has been practiced by Indigenous peoples across the globe for eons. But it is invaluable today to bring together all cultures in an environment where equity and respect are paramount, and the sharing, wisdoms and knowledge occurs between all parties. In this course, you will learn the fundamentals of how to create a yarning environment, with an emphasis on group sessions, also known as yarning circles. These are translatable across all cultures and are accepted as a way of building bridges of communication between different worldviews. The fundamental principle of yarning is to give and receive information openly, meaning each participant can share their stories as an equal partner in the process. You will learn about social or family yarning. It involves the sharing of knowledge in a safe space about issues that matter. It can strengthen relationships, resolve conflicts, find solutions to issues and provide supports. It also can be used to pass on cultural history, values and traditions. The term to yarn is used in many cultures, and familiar terminologies include spinning a yarn, which means telling a story, or having a yarn, which means having a long chat. This type of informal yarning may occur during or after a meal as an ad hoc sharing of information between participants at a gathering that takes place over some days, such as a conference, or when two people meet up and chat for a while. This type of informal yarning occurs when people feel at ease with those around them and when they feel comfortable within a physical environment. However, for the purposes of this training, we are exploring the methodology of delivering a formal yarning experience, and the most general form of this is a yarning circle. Note that a yarning circle often involves storytelling, which is a narrative that supports sharing of experiences and through this, building of common ground in communication. It is not a presentation or tutoring process, but involves respectful, active listening and through this, reaching consensus on issues or achieving problem-solving outcomes. It often is asked, should a yarning circle have an outcome or is it just a coming together? Well, the answer is both or either. If a yarning circle has been formed to address a particular topic of discussion, there may be points made and agreed on that may require actions. The facilitator or others nominated by him or her is responsible for taking these points to the next level. This could involve raising an issue with an official or unofficial body, or simply arranging further discussions with others interested in this matter. Or a yarning circle would be held simply to share learnings and experiences, opening up windows of knowledge that otherwise would be unheard or unnoticed. It can be a journey of exploration rather than necessarily being outcome focused. However, this in itself can lead to thought processes that can create opportunities. The methodology of a yarning circle is beneficial to all worldviews in the 21st century. Taking the time to give and receive knowledge, opening your mind to other worldviews and their experiences and learnings is life-altering. In a yarning circle, participants are encouraged to talk freely about their experiences and cut through the formalities of external roles, making all parties involved in the circle both knowers and learners. Through a yarning circle, participants can come together to build a connection and establish a relationship of trust. The stories or yarning delivered by all participants often provides relevant information which might not be provided in a general chat, or even a question and answer interview, and which may prove useful in solution seeking or identifying potential opportunities. A yarning circle has many benefits as a harmonious, creative, and collective way of building bridges of communication. Deliver two-way learning within a collective group, build trust, relationships by providing an environment that supports respectful and honest interactions, provide a safe place to be heard and to respond, identify solutions within a community or other environment, preserve and pass on knowledge, create a consensus voice that can translate into actions required of government or other type of authority. The steps of setting up a yarning circle are as follows. Identify a suitable date and time to hold the circle. Gain agreement within the selected group. Identify a topic. This can be an opportunity the group needs to consider, or an issue that needs to be addressed in a consensus environment. Or it can be a sharing of general knowledge such as culture and history, or a specific craft or task such as weaving. Identify a suitable location to hold the circle. Identify a facilitator who sets the scenario but also is an active participant. Their role is to ensure that participants are given equal opportunity to share ideas, knowledge, and thoughts in a respectful and mutual way. Before you start, consider who should be involved in the yarning circle. Do you need specific knowledge base, including cultural or skill sets within the group? Who should not be involved in a yarning circle? This needs to be managed so that all participants feel relaxed and comfortable. How many people should be in the circle? Depending on the level of prior knowledge the participants have of each other, this can be quite large. Example, 10 or more people. If the group is not well known to each other, you may wish to keep the yarning circle smaller, that is, 5 to 6 participants. What timing is best for the participants? It may be that the people with responsibilities for school-aged children or jobs that require them to be present at work at set times may prefer a weekend or evening gathering. How long should the yarning circle run for? Although they can be open-ended, it can be helpful to indicate to participants invited to the yarning experience how long it is likely to take. It may be that the person or persons have other commitments, and not by letting them know a time frame, you could put them in an awkward position of having to excuse themselves. However, should a time frame not be set, the facilitator of a yarning circle or both parties of one-on-one yarning need to recognize when the yarning has reached saturation point. This is identifiable when the participants start to repeat or revisit what has already been said, and it is perfectly acceptable to acknowledge this and close the conversation with thanks to all involved. What type of location will make the participants feel comfortable and able to speak freely? Most definitely, a yarning circle should not be held in a place where interruptions or disruptions are likely. The chosen location needs to have privacy. can be outdoors or indoors, and for certain topics it may be suitable to hold it within the physical environment of the selected topic that is a community matter. A yarning circle is exactly that, a circle, so that participants face each other. It should take place within all participants seated. This can be in chairs or on the ground as preferred. Age consideration often will dictate this. Do you have to book the yarning space? If so, make sure permissions have been gained. If the yarning circle relates to a First Nation matter or involves Indigenous peoples, it can be helpful to speak with the respected community member to identify the most suitable location. Finally, if participants are expected to be involved for such time, the provision of catering and consideration of aspects such as shade and toilet facilities is required. However, ensuring any catering does not encourage participants to get up and down on a regular basis. The yarning circle often will take place after refreshments have been shared. An important question is, who selects the group? This depends on the topic to be discussed at the yarning circle. If there is a specific group of people at the heart of an issue that needs to be resolved, those will form the core of the participants, although other external participants who may have suitable knowledge or experiences also may be required. If the purpose of the yarning circle is to bond a group of participants, possibly of different worldviews, there should be a balance between the different cultures and possibly ages. Can a yarning circle involve different age groups? A yarning circle often will benefit from the differing experiences and perspectives of varying age groups and worldviews. Some of the best yarning circles I have seen have involved elder members of a community and school children coming together to share their knowledge and wisdoms. Yarning circles are an effective way to preserve and pass on cultural knowledge. Another question to ask yourself is, when setting up a yarning circle, does the circle need specific knowledge bases, including cultural or skill sets within the group? If so, identify the required participants, consulting with senior or respected community members to do so. And finally, can a yarning circle be advertised? Most definitely. In my role as CEO of the only Aboriginal community-controlled organisation in Australia to win a National Insurance Disability Scheme local area coordinator contract, we utilise flyers, advertisements and notice boards to invite community members to yarning circles that would address the challenges in rolling out the scheme. This was vital because there was a high level of distrust and fear relating to the NDIS within the First Nations people, which would otherwise deter them from engaging with the scheme. The yarning circles brought considered conversation and solutions into the mix. The opening of a yarning circle is an important process. Make sure all participants are seated in the circle and comfortable. The opening will be led by the facilitator as follows. 1. Welcome to participants. An acknowledgement of individuals. There also can be a blessing as appropriate. 2. Outline the matter to be discussed within the yarning circle. 3. Explanation of protocols, namely, one person speaks at a time, respectful and active listening is required, all participants are equal within the circle and there is no hierarchy. 4. Participants are asked to introduce themselves and share something about themselves. This should relate to directly or indirectly to the topic. 5. The facilitator encourages participants to take turns to talk, which may involve posing a question to an individual or the group. 6. Any actions or issues identified by the Yarning Circle can be noted and brought to a future Yarning Circle. It is important to note that a Yarning Circle can be discussion only, or materials such as butcher's paper and pens can be provided so that participants can write or draw their thoughts after each person shares their thoughts and stories. It also is imperative that the facilitator be an integral part of the discussion, not just an onlooker or referee. This would upset the balance of the Yarning Circle. But all yarning requires open dialogue, whether in a group or one-on-one. The facilitator must be an active participant because to receive information, each person needs to share information as an equal participant and partner in the yarning process. In short, you will be expected to share your stories or experiences just as other participants are doing. Active listening is imperative, and the facilitator must follow these guiding principles. Give the participant who is speaking in the circle your undivided attention. Maintain the fundamental principle that all speakers are treated with respect by one person speaking at a time. Refrain from advising. Use non-verbal cues, which may include nodding your head and keeping an open body language. You can use brief affirmations or agreements, such as I see, I know, sure, but only if you have a similar story or experience. It's okay to ask questions of a participant to clarify a point they are making. A yarning circle can be open-ended or can have a set time frame on an understanding that it may be helpful to have a further yarning circle involving the same participants at a later date. For some environments, providing a time frame can be beneficial to including the required participants who have other commitments and may feel uncomfortable at having to leave a circle midway through if the session is open-ended. For other yarning circles, which have been formed to identify solutions to an issue or to share culture and knowledge for the benefit of future generations, a more informal approach to time may be suitable. Again, considering catering and facilities if a yarning circle is likely to take some time. However, as a facilitator, it is essential to be alert to repetition in the discussion, which may indicate that the topic has been exhausted and the wrapping up of the circle is required. As part of the closing, you should thank all participants for being part of the yarning circle and for their valuable contributions. Ask each participant what they gained from the yarning circle experience. Recap key agreements achieved during the yarning circle and their value. Recap any agreed actions required as a result of the yarning circle and outline how the information about the completion of those actions will be shared with the participants. As appropriate, set a new date for a further yarning circle. As appropriate, share a blessing, a poem, or a prayer, meditation, or ask a participant to do so to finish the yarning circle.
Thank you for watching this introduction to yarning. We invite you to learn all the skills of yarning in our online course. Enroll today. Go to kultchafi.au or use the link below. If you have questions, please email admin@kultchafi.au. Go well, stay well, and be well.